I was gonna do the BoJack episode I had alluded to in the Rituals episode entitled Bitch You Better Praise God to give everyone a breather, but the boys set the FBI and DARPA, and I thought it'd be funny to talk some more about Harry Potter. If this offends anyone for any reason, hey YouTube, still not boy, and you better get used to it, Guffy, you're welcome. I'm the Haley's Comet of boys, better not miss it, and better outside the screen, but you will need a telescope because we will be staring at sexy lady pirates, but that's next episode if I feel like it. And just like that, suddenly you know why I love plot development, almost as much as I love sexy lady pirates, but you need to breathe, Guffy, unlike Harry Potter did after the first part of the first book. This is literally why the Daniels cast Daniel Radcliffe as Swiss Army Man, a magical dead man who helps a man overcome his inner battles. Perhaps J.K. was inspired by how much she wanted to push a brat in front of a train. I'm not saying she literally killed the kid, I'm just saying the soundbite sounds funnier if I say it like, I'm not saying she literally killed the kid, because that's YouTube poop gold. Could you just imagine people remixing this crap? All the music behind it would get so jumbled. Hopefully some kernels of wisdom would stay intact. Remember, Guffy, kernels are for subsidies. So I'm not saying J.K. Rowling literally killed the kid, I'm just saying Harry Potter dying on Platform 9 is not as sad as your life if you're a Harry Potter fan. And that's why you're sad. All the wasted time, but this is a step in a better direction. Not towards me, but hopefully a shower. That's another fun one when it comes to bigotry. First thing out the window is intelligence vis-a-vis ability to value life, and next is hygiene. For the record, most magic is nutrition and pampering, so most witches smell pretty nice. The world of Harry Potter is sham magic. I'll take a gun over a Patronus any day. Furthermore, establish what it means to die there. There's more retcons in that than the Marvel Universe. J.R.R. Tolkien got one. George R.R. Martin had a creative workaround. You, JK, any picture they're still alive but can leave to what? Other pictures of themselves, pictures of other people, and they don't feel weird about that? Is that a part of their soul as various traditions believe? And why is that less mortal? Do they fear book burnings? And if the mirror shows someone what they want the most, and that's their dead parents, are they resurrected for that moment, or is there an afterlife that they are temporarily borrowed from? Are they picture versions? Again, this is a world where shapeshifting regularly occurs. IDs would be a nightmare. Trust me, the polyjuice potion is going to wear off any moment. I actually do this to protect young women. Which is kind of my point about just couching the thing at the beginning. Like me, between 6th and 7th grade, I went to Paris and London with People to People. It was the closest thing I had to summer camp or boarding school. I was whisked away to a magical land where the food was so bland we ended up eating at Hard Rock Cafe more often than not. I was chased by bees at a castle like some Eddie Izzard bit. My friend threatened to kill himself by hanging out a window and then later got harassed by the cops for chasing pigeons with a stick. I stole a bunch of fudge and almost set a bus on fire. Now you know why they call me Kay Willems, aka Dallas Clock Tower. Given that this was the kid I was, young Dal Clocks, occasionally someone would want to kick my ass. Luckily for them, I wasn't melting. Luckily for me, they were roughly the same size I was. Also luckily for me, I wasn't a teen in the 80s when movie bullies were homicidal, yet usually the same size, maybe more wealthy. Harry Potter has not only the rich kid to deal with, but teachers! And occasionally literal monsters 3 times his size attacking him. I still haven't forgiven a kid for calling me fat in the 3rd grade. I can't imagine being 32 and being like, one day that whomping Willow. J.K. Rowling is the Professor Screw-Eye from We're Back. Hey kids, you like magic? Have some giant spiders. Which brings me back to my friend threatening suicide. Remember I was like 11 and we were on the 3rd story of the building? He was hanging by his fingertips like a Russian, saying he was gonna drop and I couldn't do a pull-up at the time. I thought even if he wanted to survive, he wouldn't. Turns out he was just sitting on a ledge, like a Russian. I can still feel that fear though. At 12 years old, Harry Potter was several hundred feet in the air in a vehicle which he did not know how to operate. I'm surprised he ever got on a broom, which reminds me, the fuck? Quidditch? That would be awesome? Don't we actually see people collide in the air in some movies? And then what do? Fall? Do we ever see a net? Just put a net somewhere. Or would that mess up the recklessly chasing a ping pong ball through the air at what are literally breakneck speeds with no padding? Luckily, he's rich and doesn't need that scholarship. Perks of making up whatever you want as you die, huh? Kinda makes more sense, actually, as he would be in mid-air for just a moment before the train hit him. Which brings us to the view from halfway down. What some would call the penultimate episode of BoJack Horseman, but I think I'm better than them. A, because I like the free churro episode better. B, I'm not pedantic, so I better not hear any comments in the comments about the word penultimate. C, not pedantic. And lastly, I'm making content on my mother's birthday instead of going to her birthday party. You know why? Because if I don't have ample space to yell at what appears to be myself like a raving lunatic, I'll look like a raving lunatic. And she's a really nice lady who doesn't deserve that gossip. Unlike you, Guffy, that's what you come for. That and the abuse, tactics, defense training. When are we gonna hang out and test my dick's well-seasoned anal spelunking techniques? Oh, sorry, you look just like your mother, Guffy. And just like your mother, I want to defend you. Or just like your mother ought to. Not in like a hovering way, but like in a you can call me for anything. I'm here for you, sweetie. Mommy's here. Not for the rapists. I don't want to talk about rapists on my mom's birthday. Actually, funny story about my mom and a rapist. Not the time she rolled the window up in Chicago, although that was racist. Her name is Karen, after all. One time she parked in the fire lane to get her shoes back from a Salvation Army after a mentally challenged family friend put them in the wrong box. She walks back out to the car and I say, please don't tell me you walked in and demanded a manager. And she responds with, why? Is that a problem? And the answer is yes, and it's because you played yourself, Mom. And I can't play favorites with these people after me. It's obviously Austin, but it's not his birthday. So many birthdays ago, this kid Nick's brother got shot in cold blood on his front lawn as part of some sort of gang initiation. The brother wasn't the one getting initiated, and neither was Nick. The gang wasn't from our neighborhood, ours just wasn't gated. Anywho's, this gave the criminal element in the neighborhood much more scrutiny, and you know how I love solving crime. Apparently, someone was after joggers on the Greenbelt. Every town's got one. That's why I want to send him on a Britain, the rapist, not the Greenbelts, although, what a way to test that kung fu fighting. The rapist was before the arsonist, but around the time my friends and I were having tunnel fires. Before my brother's friend set off the dry ice bomb in the deputy's face, but definitely after I set the church dumpster on fire. But that was my dad's house, a completely different neighborhood. That was the neighborhood with the construction yards and the unspent bullets in the park that were fun to hit with hammers. Speaking of how things are constructed, the blueprint of a view from halfway down is BoJack Horseman having a near-death experience and coming upon a magnificent manor with plenty to eat, his dead mom, and adventure waiting as soon as he gets in the door. But this isn't about BoJack Horseman. So I was in the basement at the time, not under the stairs, though we did have one of those in the basement. Basement was finished, walkout, 3-story house. It was great. I used to read in the little Harry Potter hole as a youth, but not Harry Potter. As I stated, I was an Artemis Fowl kid. I left the cubby around 4th or 5th grade when I graduated to Dan Brown. For a time, my mom rented the basement out and I made it my pad during junior and senior year of high school. So maybe this was around the time of the arsonist, but that wasn't me. That guy got caught putting out his own fires. Mine were in a tunnel. My mom sought to put a little fire into the eyes of any would-be rapist in the form of mace, and the mace took the form of a keychain that looked like a flashlight. So my favorite sees this and decides to see what color the flashlight is. Boy, was he seeing red. Mind you, I'm in the basement, so I come up to all the windows open, cough a bit and ask, would you like some eggs and bed? Would you what? And then I got my breath and I was like, what? Would you like some eggs and bacon with your paper? And then I got my breath and I was like, I said, would you like some eggs and bacon with your pepper? And the rapist was never heard from again because that was the girl's ex-boyfriend. But this isn't about that ex-girl's boyfriend. All I'm saying is... It makes it seem like he killed her. She's a lady now, don't worry about it. All I'm saying is we throw away troubled youth all the time. In prisons, in wilderness camps like holes, in the military, on the streets, for no reason. And there's no reason to think Harry Potter wasn't one of those. I do have leprechaun gold. I learned well from the fowl. But this world doesn't have magic train platforms, just leprechauns. And I'm pretty sure that guy was just trying to pawn his wedding ring for another green beer. See how easy it is to lie? Even to yourself. I still find myself looking for that ring sometimes. So believe in magic all you want. I'm going to stay thinking pretty much everything in Harry Potter, including the wizarding world, is just a view from a halfway down. Because I'm a wizard and I don't need no fucking headbutting to punch walls. I punch myself in the face like a real wizard and get semen everywhere. And if a meth abuser in your life has fists that kick like a mule and sperm that doesn't swim, maybe they'll mule over the thought of swimming over to Britain. I hear there's no laws there starting 2025, but they might kill you over it. Simply raise a fist with me and say, please don't this time. You clearly don't feel strong if you still need to do this, and I don't think hitting me is helping. Have you called your mom lately?